Hello, Instagram. It's Kate from Cherry Blossom Tree, My Autism Experience. I'm doing my first video for Instagram TV, and today I'm going to be talking to you a bit about women and masking, especially in the workplace. So I didn't figure out that I might be autistic until I was 30, and I often use the description to people of Lego bricks. Bear with me on this one. So as you're growing up and you're learning more about yourself and you're coming up with a sense of identity, imagine that every experience that you have, every friendship you make, every friendship you lose, every experience that you have constitutes a Lego brick. And everybody's Lego bricks build up in a different way. And you develop this sense of identity, and your Lego structure looks unique to you. Now, when I attended the autism show in Birmingham in 2015, it was for continuing professional development. I was working in special educational needs at the time, and autism had become an interesting subject to me. I wanted to learn as much as I could about it. So I went to the autism show in Birmingham with the expectation of coming away learning a lot more about autism itself, not expecting to have completely knocked over my own Lego structure and my entire sense of identity, and having it obliterated across the floor into thousands of pieces. So after that the first day of the 2-day session, I approached one of the speakers, whose name is also Kate, and spoke to her, and when I approached her, I just burst out into tears. I could not comprehend what this potentially meant to me. I always knew I was quirky. I always knew that I had some difficulties here and there, but I never really thought that anything was particularly different about me. And this was kind of like the key to the Enigma code, as it were. So speaking to her, she recommended Rudy Simone's book, Aspergirls, to me. So I went back to my hotel room, downloaded it to my Kindle, and was blown away by what I was reading. And I came to realize that the social expectations for girls in terms of their behavior are very different to the expectations for boys. So it's a very rigid set of behavior that girls are expected to conform to. If you're too extreme one way, you're really shy and very passive, or if you're at the other end of that spectrum, you're bitchy, you're bolshy, and a bit too sassy for people's general level of comfort. So we learn from a very early age what acceptable behavior is, and I think that is part of the reason why autism in girls and young women is often missed, because the diagnostic criteria is based on the male presentation. So what hope do girls have if their behaviors are subdued from a very early age? So fast forward a bit into adulthood and coming into the workplace. When you know that you struggle with things, it's very difficult to ask for help when you don't have a name to put to those difficulties, because otherwise people just see you as being a bit precious or being a bit demanding, and it's really hard to get them to understand just how agonizing like certain sensory inputs are. And you know, when you're in an open plan office with fluorescent lighting and there's loads of phones ringing, printers going off, people talking at varying volumes, it becomes a sensory nightmare. And you do your best to mask and appear normal like your other colleagues. But eventually that facade is going to crack, and you're going to find yourself in a situation where you really need help. And if anything, I had been struggling with things for a couple of years prior to my moment of discovery, as it were, and doing lots more research into autism, and especially autism in women. I was just getting validation left, right, and center about everything that I had struggled with up until then. And I pursued I'll say a professional diagnosis, though I am trying to come away from using these medicalized terms and instead call it professional validation. I went on that journey to seek the professional validation because, let's face it, it's 2018 and women are still not believed. Women are gaslighted into thinking that they're hysterical, that nothing's really wrong when deep down you know something is wrong. I wanted that professional validation so I could not be gaslighted, so I could be strong in my assertion and say, no, actually, these are my needs. There is a name for it. And just giving myself the extra bit of confidence that I needed to be able to stand up for myself and get the help that I needed, even though superficially no one would think that I really needed that much help. So with this whole campaign of taking the mask off, what I'm trying to do is be my truest self in life and in the workplace. It's still very hard for me to fully take the mask off, I will admit that, because when you wear a mask for so long, soon enough it feels like it becomes your face, and it feels very scary to completely take it off. I do my best. I do my best to stay an acceptable professional individual while also paying attention to my own needs. So in the workplace, I may walk down a corridor and either be looking down at my phone or just kind of at some random point in the distance, because making eye contact with strangers is still a bit peculiar to me, and never feels very comfortable. And it's really weird, like if someone that I know is, walking past me along the way, and if they say, "Hi, Kate," and if I'm not expecting it, especially, why would you be expecting it? It always throws me off guard, and it takes my brain a minute to spin up and recognize who it is that I saw and actually come out with their name. And more often than not, I end up just going, "Oh, hey." And then as we pass, I feel so incredibly awkward to myself. And I'm like, that was cool. Well done. And in terms of not hiding when I need to stim, if anything, what I've found more recently at work is I'll need to just shake my hand a little bit and it just helps me think sometimes. It's a bit weird. If I'm going through a particular process on the computer and I'm like, what's the next step? I will just sit and do this. And as it stands right now, not many people in my team know that I'm autistic. I've made little mentions here and there, but they may not necessarily know what entirely that means. So I will be eventually putting a presentation together for my colleagues to explain a bit about myself, a bit about autism in general, and how they can support me and recognize when I may need an additional bit of help. The signs of shutdown in me if I, am, seeming to stim a bit more, like rocking or shaking my hand a bit more. And because I find it difficult to reach out and ask for help when I need it, mostly because I don't want to inconvenience anybody. Another part because I don't want to seem like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a perfectionist and I don't like not seeming like I know what I'm doing, and it's something I've had to deal with my entire life. But I don't know if I'll ever truly be able to take the mask off, I'll be honest. Though I'm working on it. I am really working on it. And if anything, by doing a video like this and putting it out there in the world, who knows, maybe it'll help a few people, who may feel the same way, and give them that bit of validation that they're looking for themselves. Being autistic is very complex. No 2 days are the same, as much as I would like them to be. And I'm always learning something new about myself or my senses or why I do things a certain way. But you know what? I'm really happy and relieved that I found out about myself when I did, because now I've got the rest of my life to keep figuring it out. And being able to help others on their journey, either passively through this medium or actively through, messaging and chats or what have you, that is really rewarding in and of itself. And I love welcoming new members to the tribe, as it were. So, just thinking, I've been talking for nearly 15 minutes and I had an idea for one topic, which I have touched upon. But I think the kind of freestyle format has worked. So I'll end it there. Let me know what you think, if you felt like this was helpful, if you would like to see me do more content like this. I'm really looking forward to engaging more in the community, following on from my one meme that's gone as viral as something can in the autism community, my meme about task inertia. So thank you very much for checking this out, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.